everyone, welcome to New Release Today's Couples Corner, where we interview couples in the music industry.
We are your hosts, Danny and Janice, and we love to ask the fun, love-filled questions so you can get to know the couples behind the music.
We are so excited to have Grace and Max as our guests today.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you
us.
so much.
Their sound, a refreshing fusion of folk pop with Christ-centered messages, reflects both their shared artistry and deep faith.
Their desires to write music that's inspiring and ultimately excites people toward Jesus.
We can't wait to dive into this conversation on NRT's Couples Corner.
Welcome!
Oh my goodness, we are just so excited to be here with
Yeah,
you guys
thanks for
today.
having
We've
us,
been
yeah.
looking forward to this for so long. So
Oh,
thank you guys
totally.
for having us.
Yes, absolutely. We're excited to talk about what you guys are doing in the music industry. And we'd love to just kind of kick off the interview today by having you share, since we are Couples Corner, share your love story.
Oh man.
Yeah. Wow. So Grace and I actually met, ironically, at an open mic night here in Nashville
In 2021.
in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember walking in and I saw Grace and I go, yo, that girl is cute. But I was like, she's probably not a Christian, probably not something, whatever. And Grace, you can kind of give your first impression if you want.
I remember I walked in. It was a bar, and we were just going there to sing songs. Like, it wasn't, I was singing Christian songs at this bar. So when Max started talking to me, I was like, please go away. Like, I don't want to talk to you right now. And so I remember saying, like, oh, I do Christian music as a way to get him to go away.
Nope.
But instead he was like, oh no, I want to keep talking to you. And so
Made
yeah.
me more interested, yeah.
Yeah, so we just kept talking, and then he asked me out on a date, and I was like, you know what, let's give him a shot. Why not? You never know what's going to happen. And so we went on a date, and pretty much we started dating for, I guess, 3.5 years before we got married.
I think, what was it total, like 3 years or so?
Yeah, 3 years before we got married, and yeah, we got married last June, so it's been almost a year. So it's so crazy. It's pretty fresh.
Yeah.
But it's been so special. That's kind of how we met a little bit, but yeah.
Super fun. Super fun. I love that. You both just went, doing what you're called to do, and then the Lord was like, hey, here you go. So I love it. So fun. So fun. So the next part of our interview, we're going to ask you guys some rapid fire questions. And so we'll ask the question, either point at yourself or the other person, whoever you think it
Oh,
is.
fun.
These get pretty deep, too, so here's the first one. Who's the better cook?
Yeah. I would agree with that.
What is your favorite thing to cook for your spouse there?
Oh, man. We make a lot of simpler dishes. We make a really mean taco salad, though.
Oh, my
I will say that.
Oh, our chicken. We have a chicken noodle soup recipe where it tastes like it's homemade chicken noodle soup, and we make grilled cheese with it, like you would grilled cheese and tomato soup, but we do chicken noodle.
I don't know. This doesn't really count as cooking, but he makes the best smoothies. Every morning, he'll make a smoothie for me. It's amazing.
I love that.
Delicious.
I love it. I love it. I make a good bowl of cereal, and that's about it. So
Hey.
I'm like, kudos to you.
Hard to get the ratio right, let me tell you.
It's true. And it's an art. It's an art.
She makes good burnt pancakes as well.
That's actually true. I'm so sorry for that pan.
It happens to the best of us. It's okay.
All right, second one is, who's the better driver?
Ooh. No.
We're starting some drama.
This is gonna be I think we're gonna vote for ourselves on this
No,
one.
it's me for sure.
I think everyone's more comfortable with themselves driving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're in control.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense.
No, I'm gonna point at him because I like when he drives more than I do, because then I don't have to drive. So
Fair.
do
Yeah, if you're the better driver, you drive more.
Who in the relationship is funnier?
Oh.
Whoa, this is a tough. Okay, well, should I point at you? I'm sorry.
Wow. I thought we were doing something there. Like, oh, let me help you out. And she went,
No, she went.
I mean, if the shoe fits. No, I'm just kidding.
that was funny. So maybe
Okay,
it is.
All right, next one is, who snores louder?
I don't think
Oh,
anyone snores.
no.
I sleep talk, though.
Yes, he sleep talks.
So I'll count that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've woken up and he's having a full conversation with himself.
Yep.
I'm like, what is happening?
Honestly,
right now?
our dog snores the loudest.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that.
Oh, that's funny. What's your dog's name and what kind of dog do you have?
His name is Honey. He's a golden doodle.
You can cut. He's
Let's see.
behind us.
There he is.
Honey. That's so
Like,
fun.
what is happening? Who are you talking to right now?
Let's see here. Who is the bigger cheapskate?
Probably you.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't think either of us are like a cheapskate, but I feel like I'm more likely to be like, let's spend money on this thing.
Yeah.
I'm more likely to be like, let's take a risk on something financial, invest in something.
Yeah,
And Grace is more like, let's play it safe.
Yeah.
Fair.
I would agree with that. There you go.
Who is more romantic?
I would say definitely you. I've never
Really?
I've never had
I
an
would probably
empty
say you.
vase. He's always like ever since we started dating, I've never had an empty vase. Always have had flowers. He always makes that a priority. Will write me little letters because he knows I'm words of affirmation. You plan dates. Yeah, I would say it's you. I try, but he's just better at it. So
I
That's
feel like
fair.
it's hard for me to see from my
Yeah,
perspective.
I love that. Love it.
So when those vases need to be cleaned out, who is more of a clean freak?
oh, is it
Ooh. I'd say
3, 2, 1? I would say
yeah,
myself.
I'd say you. You're more like we need to clean the place, and I'm more like
Yeah.
it's all right.
I would say you're still clean. Like you don't leave
Mhm.
things messy, but I'm definitely more like, hey, can you do this? And then you'll make sure it's spotless.
I'd call
so-
myself clean. I'm just unorganized.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I think my brain is just like cluttered, and like my space stays the same way. But it's not messy. It's not gross. It's just unorganized.
Mm-hmm. That's good. All right, who is more competitive?
You do not want to
That's not
play.
even a question.
That's not even a question. When we have friends over, we have our game nights, and we'll play games. It gets very competitive.
Yeah,
so,
you don't want to play Uno with Grace. It's a little.
Yeah.
It gets a little scary, actually.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. It's.
Yeah.
I
favorite
fear. I fear sometimes.
I love
But
it.
I always win, so no, just kidding. I feel like you win a lot, but
I have one card game that I love that I've like never had anyone beat me until I met him, and then I've never played it since that. Like I'm
No
like, I
way.
hate this game. I hate
Grace won't play games that I beat her at.
that's true. I'm like, let's not play that. Let's play this other game.
All right, and here is the last one. Who said I love you first?
Max.
Tell us about it.
We said it at the same day.
It was the
It
same
was pretty
day.
fast. I had never said I love you to anybody, and I wanted to say that when I knew I was gonna marry that person. And it was about 2 months we had been dating, literally
Yeah.
2 months. From our first date, it was 2 months, and I knew I wanted to marry him, no question, and vice versa. And so when he said I love you, I was like, no brainer, like I love you. But I was like so scared to admit that. I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was scary. It was so scary to say I love you, but it was true. So, you know, keeping quiet isn't gonna make it not true. So,
That's
yeah.
good. Good.
Get it out there.
I love it. I love it. All right, our next segment is the cup of love questions. So we have some fun questions in here for you guys to answer. So you ready to deep dive?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
How do you balance your professional and personal lives, and what strategies do you use to maintain a healthy relationship while working together?
Man, I think it's so important to prioritize your marriage, and for us, because our music is our ministry, it's really important to just have a schedule. I feel like we like to kind of treat it like a 9 to 5. You know, these hours we're going to be working, and we're going to, you know, work together, and we're co-workers at the same time, and we're working on this ministry together. And then also these other times, like in the evening when we make dinner, when we eat food, this is our time to just be married and enjoy each other's company. And that's really been beneficial for us. But, you know, sometimes when we're touring and we're on the road, there's days at a time where we're just focused on music, and that's okay, as long as when we come back and we're home, we take the day off, or, you know, spend some time and just reconnect and do something fun, like play pickleball, take our dog on a walk, you know, whatever that is, just making sure we prioritize that time together.
I think our our main goal is to always prioritize, like, in this order, God, our marriage, and then our ministry. And if our marriage is having a hard time, our relationship with God's having a hard time, that needs to come first. If our marriage is having a hard time, that needs to come first before our ministry, in that order. And I think that's something we just try to prioritize.
Yeah, you have to fill your cup up before you pour out.
Yeah, amen. So much wisdom that can apply whether you're in the music industry or not. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
All right, on to the next one. What role does collaboration play in your creative process, and how do you handle differences in artistic vision and direction?
Yeah, so we both are musicians, and so we also have our own sound. And so Grace does more like folk sounding stuff, and I have more of like a pop influence. So we were able to kind of take our sounds and blend them together into our pop folk sound that is the Grace and Max music. And honestly, being able to collaborate has been, we think like those two genres maybe don't hit each other right, or they might compete, but we found a way to kind of help make them harmonize in a way, which has been awesome.
I think Max is really talented because, well, he's our producer, so he produces all of our own stuff, and so he kind of blended the sounds in a way I did not expect that we'd be able to, and so it just kind of made us creating our sound a little bit easier. And it's also really nice because when we do have those differences, we also have our own solo project, so if there's something that doesn't necessarily we agree on, we can take those ideas and bring it into our solo project, which has been really beneficial and really helpful.
Yeah, we actually had a write the other day where we wrote a song for us, and then we started on another one, and we're listening, and Grace is like, I don't know, but I was like, this is awesome, I would love a song like this. And so there's anything's never off the table. It's always there's always room for it to go somewhere else, which has just been awesome. It's just it's a great way to collaborate.
I love it. That's so cool. All right, let's see what we got next. We have, can you share a particular moment or project that's been especially meaningful or impactful in your career as a couple?
Oh man, for me, I'm taken back to this moment earlier this fall. We were in Michigan, and it was about an hour before we were supposed to go on stage, and it was so heavy on my heart from the Lord that we needed to change the song that we had in our set list, even though we were gonna have no time to practice it, but just change that song for a different song. And then I needed to share my story, which was something that I felt very scared to do. But I went up to Max and I was like, hey, I really think we need to do this. We're going to switch out this song. You're going to have to play it. We don't have tracks for it, so sorry about it, but this is what needs to happen. And immediately he was just like, okay, let's do it. Like, this is from the Lord. We need to do that. And I feel like in that moment, saying yes really impacted me in a big way. And just hearing how the Lord used that story to touch other people, and the stories I heard afterwards completely changed my perspective and completely honestly changed my life. And it was such a special moment for us in our career, and it just really reminded me that the Lord just asked us to show up. He asked for our availability. He doesn't ask for our abilities. And so just saying yes to him really can just change so much, and just letting him work and do what he does best is just, oh my goodness, it's so worth it. Saying yes is so worth it.
And I think for me, honestly, a awesome moment was we were writing our most recent song, Jesus Cares, and we're still in the season, kind of just leaning on the Lord for provision. Truly, when things on paper don't make any sense, like, how is this going to work out? But the Lord has a plan for us, and he provides. And we were meditating on Matthew 6, which talks about how he provides for the birds and the grass. But he cares so much more about us than he does the birds and the grass. So if he provides for them, why wouldn't he provide for us? And so that's honestly was such a special song. And I feel like I'm singing it to other people, but I'm also singing it to myself, and just reminding myself that Jesus does care, and Jesus does provide, and he comes through every single time, and he already has a plan, and he is so intentional with us. He knows every hair on our heads. And yeah, it's just something I need to be reminded of all the time as well.
I love it. Is that song out yet, or is it?
April 4th.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Go download it, people. I love it. Thanks for sharing those stories. Those are so good. We're in Michigan. We're from Michigan, so we got
Oh
super.
my gosh, we
Oh
love
my
Michigan.
goodness.
We've been in Michigan so many times this past year.
And we're gonna go this summer.
gonna be-
We have like 5 times that
we're
I
gonna
think
be
about
in-
that we're going.
Leonidas. We're gonna be in
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Are
gosh,
you at Revive Fest in Leonidas?
Revive.
Yes.
We're gonna be.
We're
playing with-
emceeing that.
We're gonna be
No
there.
way.
Oh, you're gonna be Revive. We'll be there.
Okay, well,
Yes.
Yay! We're the hype team.
no way. I
It's so
love
fun. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so excited you guys are gonna be there.
Wait,
We'll be
that's so
there.
fun.
We're in Sean Rodriguez's band,
Mhm.
and so
Okay.
yeah, we'll be there. We're super excited for that.
Yeah.
We're kind of all over Michigan all the
Yeah.
time. So,
But we'll see
we
it
love
Revive
there.
though. We love Revive.
Mhm.
Yes, it's an amazing
Ah,
festival. Yay!
Wow,
How
okay.
fun.
all right. Let's see. Next question we have: how do you support each other's personal growth and development within your music careers? And how do you encourage one another spiritually and professionally?
Yeah, so I remember the story, so as we mentioned, we're in Sean Rodriguez's band as well, but at first he reached out to me to play keyboard right before we got married.
It was like a month before we
Right
got
before we got married, and it literally would have lined up where 2 days after our honeymoon, I would have been on the tour bus, which is what happened. And so I was calling Grace and I said, hey, I got this opportunity, it's right after our wedding, so I totally understand. And she goes, no, do it. No, do it. Like, no question. If that's where the Lord is calling you, you need to do it. And like, he'll figure out the details. Like, I don't, like, she didn't even ask any questions about finances or how logistics in that sense. She just said, if the Lord's calling you, he'll figure out the details, do it. And so Grace has been so supportive in anything the Lord has been calling me to do, and just being so supportive of me through this whole musical journey and through our marriage as well.
Thank you. Max has been so supportive for me because any opportunity that I've had in my solo music stuff, it's always the same thing. It's always just do it. Do what the Lord is calling you to do. Just say yes to him. It's more important to be obedient than it is about, the Grace and Max show. And, like we always want to put the Lord first in that. And so him just supporting me in that just means so much to me, because it doesn't feel like I have to, but and I get to work with him and we get to work together, and that just bleeds into all of the other aspects in our marriage and in our lives. And yeah, he's my biggest supporter, so I'm really thankful.
Aw, I love it. I love it. All right, we've got time for one more question here, so let's see what we got. All right. What inspired you to collaborate as a couple in the industry, and how has working together impacted your relationship?
This is kind of a crazy story. So that same time that Sean Rodriguez had called Max and asked him to go on tour, he had not asked us to open for him for select shows yet. And so when he eventually did call and he was like, hey, do you guys want to open up for me as a duo? We were not a duo, although we had played around town and people kind of just thought that we were a duo because we always just played together. He would always accompany me on guitar, or I would always sing background vocals for him. And so when we were asked to do that, we weren't like, oh, we're not a duo. We were just like, yeah, we're a duo. This is great. This is perfect. And so we just, in that month, we were just like, let's just give it the summer, see how it goes. This is something we had been praying about anyways, and we didn't think it was going to be our main focus. We thought it was going to be maybe a side project here and there that we would collaborate on. But that month we just spent time writing songs together and coming up with our set list, and just really hit the road. And the Lord made it so clear last summer that this is exactly where we need to be. This is exactly what we need to be doing. And so that's kind of how we started collaborating. And oh my goodness, it's been such a blessing to get to do it together. And yeah, in my wildest dreams, I could not have pictured us working together and collaborating in this way, because I'd always said, I was like, I'll never date or marry a musician. And here we are, and it's impacted us in the best way. I mean, you obviously, when we were just getting married, it's just like figuring out how to be married on top of, joining our ministries together and working together. And, it's been an adjustment, but in the best way. I don't think we'd want it any other way.
No, and before we got married, we were talking, we would oh, like, let's do something for fun on the side as a duo. Like, it'll be a side project. But the Lord was like, no, this is going to be the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we've been doing ever since. And it's just been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. And I'm so grateful that you guys gave God your yes and that I just see that for you guys. Like, you're like, okay, we'll pivot wherever the Lord leads us and wherever that takes us, we're going. And so I love that and just bless everything that you guys are doing. And that's all the time we have today for Couples Corner. So be sure that you guys connect with Grace and Max at graceandmax.com, which will be in the show notes. Find their music, merch, booking, all the things on their website, graceandmax.com.
And thank you so much, Grace and Max, for being our guests today. And thank you to our viewers for tuning in to New Release Today's Couples Corner. Bye.
Thank you for having us.